Hey guys, we're back in Hendon for another mock test. This time our learner didn't want to be recorded in terms of her voice or her face, so I'm just going to do some of the talking just to guide you through what's happening. So we started off not in the actual car park because sometimes it was a bit busy, and on this day it was quite busy, so we started off just in the other car park. And the Hendon Test Centre car park is just the one on the right there where that car's turning into now. So as you come out of here, you want to be really careful of all these cars that are parked there. Some of them come out suddenly, and it's a very narrow space as you can see there, so our learner's done well to stop for that car just now because there wasn't much space there as she got closer to that car. So you have to bear in mind that people around here will be doing their test as well, so just be extra careful so you don't mess anybody's test up. So right now going about 10 miles an hour, not too fast. We're still in the estate, and there's some of these speed bumps, as you can see there, they're very harsh, so you want to go extra slow on those ones because you will feel it if you go too fast. We're going to turn left at the end of the road.
At the end, turn left, please.
And my learner did this pretty well. There's nothing coming from their right, so we just made the turn and going straight towards the traffic lights. And then these traffic lights we're going to be going straight, and she's done well to choose the correct lane to do that in. So in most junctions you're going to find that the straight will be using the left lane, but sometimes it might be the right lane, so you just have to look at the signs and the floor markings. But on this one, straight is using the left lane. You can see on the floor there, so you see the right one is only for turning right. Stopped a tiny bit early there, could have gotten a bit more forward, but it wasn't like a huge deal, so it was fine. Carried on driving. And then here's where I asked her to pull over on the left in a safe place. There used to be more spaces to pull over here. That zebra crossing wasn't there, and this bus stop is also, there's a lot more parking bays, but now there's only a few. But she's gone past one, and she's gone actually on blocking a driveway there, so she got a fault for stopping in a driveway.
Okay, we're going to start the independent driving now, okay?
Then here we're just explaining about the independent driving. So we're going to go and turn left at the end of the road, right at the traffic lights, and then right at the roundabout.
Turn right. And then the road left.
So this is the route that you might take. A lot of Hendon tests are done on this route. So just if you're going to go in Hendon, it's good to watch this one.
If you're not sure.
So it's quite a steep hill here. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it's really steep right now. So she needs to be very careful how she moves off. So she's done the checks. So right now the only thing that's holding the car is the handbrake. But you see the clutch is down, so there's no biting point at the moment. So when she releases the handbrake, see the car rolls backwards because she didn't have a biting point. So she got a minor there. She stopped it luckily in time. There was a car behind as well, but it wasn't that close. And when she tried again, she managed it and moved off. But keep watching, because we're going to do more hills, and we'll see how she does on those ones. She actually tried to turn there. She signalled before, but I told her no, remember it's the end of the road. So some people get confused and try to turn there, but it's the end of the road, which is where we are now. So she's turning left here. And take note of this new speed limit sign. So she's approached this junction in gear 2, which was fine to begin with, but she's left it in 2 this whole time. Even just creeping forward like this, it should really be in 1, but I haven't said anything because remember it's a mock test, so I was trying to make her figure out herself. She's moved a bit forward, the car's rumbling a bit, so that should have given her some sort of idea that something's not quite right, but she didn't kind of get that clue. So she's still in 2 at the moment. Then when the right becomes a bit clearer, she'll try to move in gear 2, and then you'll see what will happen. You see, so she tried to move and boom, the car stalled almost in the middle of the road. So she got a serious for gears there. She should have been in gear 1, and I've had to remind her that it's actually in gear 2. So now she's put the engine back on and gone forward when it was safe. So remember, we're still on the independent driving section, so we're going to go to the traffic light and then turn right. And our new speed limit has changed also, now it's back to 30 again. Instruction was? And the traffic lights, so we are turning right here. She signalled a bit late on this one, so I gave her a minor for that. She should have signalled a bit before. So sometimes this one can be a bit tricky because of the positioning is a bit weird on this one, but right now there's no one coming from the other side that's turning as well, so it was nice and easy for her to make this turn. But if you go there, just watch out in terms of positioning, whether you want to go offside, near side to near side, or passenger side to passenger side. So near side to near side, or offside to offside. Good work there, going through nice and slowly, so good control on the pedals, because there's a bit going on there, like with that van poking out a bit, making the other car swerve into our path, but she handled that really well. Also keeping a nice distance from the learner as well, because they're driving a bit slow, but probably because there's lots of construction going on, so she's done well there to keep her distance. Sometimes there will be learners in front of you that are not as experienced as you, so you want to give them plenty of room. And then this roundabout, this is where we're supposed to be turning right. Let's see how she does. Okay, so can't see the right properly, but you can see all those cars coming from the other side blocking anybody from the right, but she's still not moving. So this is a bit of hesitation here. Let's see how long she actually waits there for. So another car blocking. Yeah, and then you see there's still nothing coming from the right, but she's still waiting, and then eventually she decides to move, but that was way too long there. She could have gone way before then, so that's a serious hesitation. I was really surprised that nobody behind us beeped, but that was way too long, so it's definitely hesitation there. And then here we're just pulling over on the left in a safe place, but she's going to stop kind of half on the yellow line, half in the box. She could have gone a bit more forward, but she's got another minor there for positioning normal stop, so that's 2 so far for that one. Something that we worked on the next lesson after I saw her, after this mock test. So it doesn't look like it, but this is another slope, so it's not as steep as the one before, but it is a bit of a slope, so if you don't do it properly there is a chance that you're going to roll back. So let's see how she does. So you see, this time she's rolled back loads, that's way too much, so that's serious there, especially with the other one as well. So there's two situations where she's rolled back, but this time was quite a long way, so definitely a serious fault there. That was definitely something that we worked on. It was just the matter of not getting a biting point before she released the handbrake, and once she realised that, she got it straight away, because normally on hills she's actually quite good, especially when you're moving but when we were starting from a parked position, she was just forgetting to get a biting point first for some reason, but we worked on it on the next lesson. Then here we're going to be following signs for Brent Cross, which is to the left. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but she's gone really slowly through, which is good. So remember, if you're not sure about the space, sometimes it's best just to wait behind the car so that you don't squeeze up and risk getting too close to the car on the side. And then you see there, as soon as you turn, the light was red, and you can tell that light applies to us because of that white line. There's a stop line on the floor. If that line wasn't there, then those lights wouldn't apply to us, and we can carry on. But when there's a stop line near it, the light does apply to you, so be careful when you turn like that and make sure you respond to the lights properly. Okay, nice, building up speed nicely, and she's in the correct lane as well, which is good. You want to be in the left lane for normal driving, unless you're overtaking or unless you're going in a certain direction. Still following signs for Brent Cross, which the sign is there, but I got the feeling that she didn't really see it, so I had to remind her, because she wasn't checking the mirrors or anything like that, or slowing down, so I had to remind her that it's coming up soon. And I was told it was this left here. She would have gone straight if she hadn't reminded her. So the examiner will be looking at you to see if you've noticed something's coming up. So if you're not looking at mirrors, if you just look blank, they will kind of know that you haven't really seen what you're supposed to see. And sometimes they will just ask just to confirm if you've seen something or not. And here we're going to go straight, second exit, this roundabout. And also remember, if you're not sure if you've seen a sign or not on an independent driving section, just ask the examiner. They're not gonna keep it a secret. Just ask them and they will tell you, or they will help you say yes, it was that exit, or it's gonna be over there. They're not testing you to see how you're gonna get lost. They want to see how safely you drive, so they will help you in those sort of situations, so don't be afraid to ask. So here there's only one way to go really, towards the left of that sign is telling us that's across the road. So here you wouldn't really say, the examiner wouldn't say anything here as well. They would expect you to kind of know you can only go left there. Approaching this junction a bit quick, so I had my foot ready on my jaw control to brake in case she actually overshot the giveaway line there, but luckily she stopped in time and checked the side and then drove on again. So some slip roads are really tiny, so like that one there, you have to stop. Some of them are quite big, so you can actually just drive in them and then change lanes, but that one you have to stop, check the road and then keep moving when it's clear. Now we're just following signs for Mill Hill, which is going to be left at the traffic lights, so pretty straightforward. It's going into gear 2 there, so a lot of learners will try to leave it in gear 1 for too long because this is quite a long way to the turn. So she's done well there to go into gear 2, and then slowing down nicely for the turn, because sometimes people go way too fast there because it's a dual carriageway. They think they have to go fast and then make the turn, but no, it's a turn, so you should approach it in the correct speed, in the correct gear. So approaching a set of lights, see they're starting to change to orange there, but our learner didn't stop, which is good because it's way too late to stop. So practicing that can be a bit tricky because it's a fine line between when you can go and you shouldn't go. So it's all about practicing and getting used to choosing a point of no return. So our learner did well not to stop there. And now coming up to a roundabout, I wanted to go straight originally here, but there was a lot of roadworks up ahead, so I didn't want to get stuck in traffic, so instead we're going to turn left. Not completely clear on the right, nothing coming from there, so no need to wait, which is exactly how she did it, so well done. So the traffic lights now, we're going to go straight. Ideally she should have been in the left lane, because you see both lanes can go straight, but this right lane can go right as well, and the car in front is turning, so So sometimes there will be lots of cars doing that, and then you get stuck behind the last car. But luckily for her, the car was actually moving. But here, the two lanes merging together there, she didn't check the left mirror, so she got a fault for mirrors there. It was actually a minor fault, but then it got to a serious when she done it again in a different place. Turning to the left, bit of coasting there actually, but not bad enough for it to constitute a fault, so it was okay. Then here we're turning right, and I was hoping to use the car just up ahead there. There's always a car parked there. I was going to use that to do the parallel park, but obviously someone else has seen it and started using it, so I had to think of another maneuver to do. I was looking for another car to use, but couldn't find one, so we had to do another maneuver, which is coming up shortly. But here she's done well to wait for this car to move a bit, because the space there's not very big, so it wouldn't make sense trying to squeeze past there. Just let the learner move back a bit more. Then once there's space, you're supposed to have checked her mirror and moved off it, but she actually didn't do that. She just started moving without checking the mirror. So this is when she got another fault for changing direction, because she had to go right, round towards the right to go around that person, but she didn't check her mirror first. So she got a serious for that, because it's becoming like a repetitive thing. So that's we worked on that on the next lesson as well.
Once you've turned, pull up on the right, please.
So turning left, and then we're pulling up on the right straight away to do the right reverse exercise. So in terms of that control, this is probably the easiest one to do for most people, but a lot of learners get this wrong with the observation part of it. So they might start off doing well, which is what our learner did. She looked around really well at the beginning, but then as she started reversing some more, she didn't look around any more than that. She just looked forward when you're supposed to be looking back. So she looked around there, but then from here she didn't really look around anymore. She just kind of started looking at the mirrors only, not really turning her head to look back. Only doing that really right at the end. So by this whole time, a lot of distance has been covered without checking the back, which is not ideal. So she got a serious for observation there. Because if you imagine driving that far back without looking back, it's like driving with your eyes closed, really. Not a very safe practice. Something for us to work on in the future as well. So I'm hoping to do another mock test with her once she does a bit more practice, and I want to see a difference in the way she drives. Hopefully we'll see a big difference, and I'll upload that as well. So moving off there, she done okay. She looked around nicely and then moved off, which is sometimes learners get confused there as well, because remember, you're supposed to be looking over your left shoulder last since you're going in that direction. So I'll do a video on that right reverse actually and upload it as well, so watch out for that. So naughty little pigeons in the road there. So don't be afraid of like birds in the road, or pigeons especially. They will move. So sometimes learners will brake harshly or try to swerve around, and it's dangerous. What you want to do is just keep driving, and most of the time, not all the time, they will move actually. So don't be afraid to just keep driving when you see birds. And we're going to go to the left at these lights. tiny little rollback there, but nothing to write home about. But again, it's just a sign of that something that needs to be worked on. So I had somebody ask in the comments before about if you rolled back a tiny bit, is that going to be a fail? It all depends on the situation. It depends how. If somebody's really close to behind you, then it could be, because you know, if you roll back even a tiny bit, someone really close, then you could come into contact with them. But if there's no one behind you, then obviously you got a bit more leeway. But be careful in those situations. It's probably best just use your handbrake and get your biting point before you release handbrake if you're not used to doing hill starts, just to be on the safe side. So coming up to the traffic lights here and just turning left to go back towards the test centre. Nicely controlled. Well done. Adding some gas, changing gears. So here we're going to be turning the second road on the right. So the first one is just there on the right, and then we're turning back into the test centre in this road here. So she's going in quite fast, and you see she's going across way too soon, and she's turning sharply, and I've had to actually take control here because she's gone way too quick, and I was trying to make her avoid hitting the pavement there. Okay guys, so I think we'll end it there. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye.